All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 332 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And before I get started, I want to start off with this, passing of Ed Jasper, former defensive tackle of the Atlanta Falcons. Was one of my favorite players on NFL 2K5 if you played any video games. I used to love using him on the defensive line to get to the quarterback. One of the defensive players that was around during the Michael Vick era, and it's really sad to have him, pass at the age of 49. It's entirely too young. So just wanted to get that out of the way because it's happened a few days ago, and I really didn't, I didn't really think about it too much, to be honest, because it's like, with death and stuff, you just try to put it out of your mind, but just stuff like that happens. It really, really sucks. But nevertheless, rest in peace to Ed Jasper, passing away at the age of 49. All right, let's go ahead and get into what is going on here. This is episode 332 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Ball. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, and Google. So basically all your favorite platforms, you can go find me over there. And we have a lot to talk about today. I mean, I am really excited with everything that is going on. Yesterday was very, very, it was a very, very exciting day because our Discord just blew up. A lot of people started coming in, Georgia Southern fans, and I really, really appreciate it. Shout out to one of the, basically the creator of the First and Frame Rates Discord, DJ81. He was also a former co-host of the show when it was under a different format. Very, 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 very helpful of getting everybody in and getting everything in order as far as the Discord is going. So if you haven't already, go over there and join the Discord. We're talking about Georgia Southern, all types of sports, everything under the Georgia Southern umbrella and sports related. So it's going down over there. We're growing really fast. Also, we're going to get into the topics today of these, what can you say about bringing hardware back home? The women's golf team wins the Sun Belt. I think the men won last year, and then you already had the cheerleaders win the national championship. I mean, we're just bringing home hardware left and right, and it is awesome. We're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about Najee Thompson, probably one of my, my favorite Georgia Southern Eagles, at least one of my favorites. I have so many favorites, but Najee Thompson is returning from an injury. What does that mean for the defense? And we're going to throw a little bit of Falcon stuff in there. We're going to talk about Grady Jarrett and what does it mean that he did not show up for the voluntary workouts for the Falcons. Is that a big deal, or is that something there's nothing, to it? So we're going to get into all that, but I'm going to talk about these women the women golf team winning the Sun Belt. This is really cool. This is really cool because not only over here I talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football, I am starting to expand to where I'm talking about other aspects of Georgia Southern athletics because, football is my passion. I've been following Georgia Southern football for, probably like the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, I remember the Tim Stowers, national championship game. So, I mean, that's how young I was, and I really started watching Georgia Southern, me being a kid from Savannah, Georgia, that's what we did. We followed Georgia Southern football in my family. So there's something I've been watching for years. And it's like, I really never paid attention to any other of the athletics in, at Georgia Southern. Shout out to Jared Banco. Jared Banco has done a great job with the athletic department in general, and he's been helping out on Twitter, put a spotlight on all the athletics. I mean, from the football team all the way to the women's rifles team. I mean, you know about what's going on because he always spotlights, what these people, these students, athletes are doing. They're doing a really good job at actually excelling at their sports. And it really just caught my attention all the way back when, the women's basketball team started doing really good. And then, the boys basketball team was actually doing well, at one point. Everything was just starting to snowball. And then it really, really hit me when the men's won the golf tournament, or when they won the Sun Belt last year. And I was like, okay, there's more to this. Then I turn around and then the cheerleading team, and now the women's golf team wins the Sun Belt championship. So that just puts more pressure on the other athletics that haven't won any hardware lately. Now, don't get me wrong, the football team has won, the Camellia Bowl, and we won the R.L. Carrier New Orleans Bowl. So we it's like I said, we're bringing hardware over left and right. But let's go ahead and get into the women's golf with them winning the Sun Belt. Looking at it on GeorgiaEagles.com, I'm going to follow and I'm going to paraphrase what I see in on the website about what happened. Basically, this is the first Sun Belt women's golf titles for the Eagles as Georgia Southern began its women's golf program. So this is all the way back in 2015. This is the first, title. So that's awesome. And, that is really cool to see. I'm trying to see anybody who stands out. Let's say freshman Sarah Chana. I think I said that right. Sarah Chana Radisson. I think I said that right. I'm not good with names. Earned a medal honors. Senior Mia Ness. I think I said that right. Tied for second, and Georgia Southern won the Sun Belt Women's Golf Tournament Championship. At the LGPA International Hills course. So the Eagles went plus 31, led the tournament wire to wire, so they never trailed, and they topped defending champion Coastal Carolina by 4 strokes. So, and Arkansas State came in third, and Texas State won it for. Hey, let's talk about Texas State, man. Texas State, man, they're just. Man, that Twitter account, I just can't get over that Twitter account. Just some salty dudes, man, when losing baseball against us. Radisson, Ennis, I can't say that. Please forgive me for the name. Radisson won the individual title by a stroke over Ness +5, and the University of, I think this is Texas. I want to say the UTA's Hyder and Hillendorfer. Sophomore Abby Newton fired a 73 in today's final round, tying the lowest score of the day, and finished the tied for 11. Senior Madison Heidman posted a 75, and Eagles scored the second lowest score, finished tied for 27th. So this is some really good stuff to see. It's good to see that these women are doing big things. You don't get too much attention on women's sports like this. You may hear a little bit about, the basketball every now and then, and you may hear something about the softball team, but you don't really hear much about the women's golf. And to be honest with you, I would have loved to watch this because I'm really big on golf. I like to watch golf. Once I really started to understand the sport, I like to watch stuff like that. And it's really interesting to see women play golf because it's somewhat of a different dynamic because, things are just done differently, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just, I'm pretty sure that, there's a lot more precision when it comes to playing golf under the women's umbrella. So I would really like to see how is that played out, because I'm pretty sure it's more precision as far as putting the ball in play than compared to how some men play, where a lot of them like to play for power for the most part. And it's cool or whatever. But I think one thing that's special about golf is that, the preciseness of where you want ball placement, the lie, where you want to lay that ball in on the green or on the fairway, or where you want to put it. And, it's a lot goes behind that. Now, I'm not to say that women can't do the power behind it, because there's some women stronger than me. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, I just find it interesting under that, mantra that I'm pretty sure that there's more precision when it comes to it because of, just the factor of, you're not trying to worry about hitting the ball far every single time. So I would love to see how that plays out. But congratulations to the women's golf team. They win the Sun Belt first time. And this is, since they've been in the program since 2015. So, you got this going on, the cheerleaders winning, the men won last year, the football team is on a down year, but we did win a bowl game not too long ago. It just feels good right now. And I want to segue into the football team because I just got finished talking about the scrimmage, and the scrimmage was really, really cool. These guys are actually, looking a lot different than what we saw before. And it seems like that we're going to be able to make some things happen with this offense. And one of the people that are going to be, one of the guys that's going to make a big difference is a Najee Thompson. Najee Thompson is more of, a utility player. He can play offense, defense, and he loves playing special teams. And he was injured last year after playing against who did he play against? Yeah, in the Coastal Carolina game. And he ended up missing out the rest of the season with ankle and thumb injuries. So he was out, but he done pretty good for himself. Played 9 games, started 2, which I think he should have started more. But even with he played 321 total snaps. He posted 25 tackles, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. Special teams, he had a tackle against Gardner Webb in Florida Atlantic. Made the move the cornerback when we had an issue with cornerbacks with Derek Canteen going down and others. And he done pretty good for himself. The year before that, he played in all 13 games back in 2020 and in 2019. So he's actually a really, a really versatile player. He can do a little bit of everything. Now, I can go down this entire list of all the things that he's done in his bio, go through his stats, whatever. I mean, man, it'll take me forever, But for a 5th-year senior and to have him back on the team, it really means a lot, especially when you got guys coming in who can, like a Ashton Whitner, who literally could step in and take that role of leadership in the secondary once, Najee Thompson graduates. Mark Stampley is going to be on campus really soon. So, they're going to be able to pick his brain as far as trying to learn how to be a college football player, a college student athlete. And to me, there's no other person that you want to learn from is somebody like Najee Thompson. I've been hearing a lot of rumblings about this kid, like the way he speaks. And I don't do the Twitter, spaces thing, and it's just not my thing. But there's a lot of people been coming back and telling me, hey, you need to listen to Najee Thompson. You need to hear, the things that he talk about. He knows what, and there's no doubt in my mind. I'm pretty sure that he knows what he's talking about when it comes to football. A lot of people saying he has coach written all over him. I would not be surprised. And he's just a really good kid. I did a spotlight on him about a year ago on this channel, just when I was just doing regular just videos. And I did a spotlight on him where I really just, said like, look, I love what this kid can do. He makes highlight plays. Speaking of that, he was on, number 2 play on ESPN's top 10. So in the interception that he had when he played against, I think it was not Arkansas State. I can't remember who it was, but it was a great one-handed interception. I think it could have been Arkansas State, but I mean, it's just, what can you say? The kid can do it all, and it's going to be really interesting, not only with the knowledge and the ability that he has if he's going back to play in wherever he plays. If he's getting knowledge from like Will Harris, the defensive coordinator, I mean, you're talking about somebody who's going to be groomed to be a good football player. I mean, there it is right there. I mean, Coach Will Harris already has the resume for what he did in Washington with defensive backs, and you got a guy with this type of intelligence and ability like a Najee Thompson. I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, this is one of the reasons why I've been saying that I think this team could win 8 games minimum, and I'm sticking with that. When you have these type of relationships where a lot of kids that are on this team, that I saw this ever since the RL Carrier New Orleans Bowl. Even I'll go back to the Camellia Bowl, which it seemed like it was so far away. It was like 4 years ago. When you see these kids that are growing up and you see the ability that's there, they just didn't have, and it's not a knock on the last regime or whatever, but they just did not have that guidance to be, better. You know what I'm saying? I still believe at the end of the day, when you look at the Camellia Bowl and even some parts of the RL Carrier Bowl, New Orleans Bowl, when you look at all those games around that time, a lot of these kids played well despite the shortcomings of the coordinators and the coach. And that doesn't mean that they're bad coaches. It's just sometimes your game plan just doesn't work with the personnel you have. And that looked like that's what happened. It doesn't seem like that what they were trying to put on the field actually worked. So a lot of these guys went out there and just played with a lot of instinct. And you see that with a Najee Thompson. You saw that with with the CJ Wright. You saw a lot of that with Randy Wade and other players. Derek Canteen. You know what I'm saying? Even on offense, you saw a lot of these players like a Derwin Burgess, the plays that him and Cam Ransom connected on. JJ McCann. You see these type of plays. The big play by Sean Pell-Kisson in the bowl game. The big play by Shaw Wirtz in the Camellia Bowl. So when you look at all those things, like a lot of these guys played on instinct, in my opinion. But now you got guys that are here that are going to be, for the most part, they're going to be coached differently. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to be coached better because I don't know yet. But I think they're being coached differently, and you just see the vibe. You see the energy. You see what's being taking place. You see these kids being developed. And when you see that, you're like, oh, my God, these kids are something different. These kids are built. They're getting stronger. They're getting faster. I looked at some of the clips and the pictures in the scrimmage game. I'm like, some of these kids look like they've gained like 20 pounds of muscle. They're walking in looking like regular high school football players, and they're coming back in like 2-3 months looking like college players ready to go. So this is why I say what I say about what this team is capable of winning. The schedule is not as brutal, but the schedule is intimidating because there's still a lot of unknown with this team. But just in my heart, what I see on the field, my eye test, my gut feeling, what these coaches are doing, what these kids are buying into, I believe that this team, if everything don't even have to go right, but everything just needs to go for the most part as planned. If they get 80% of what they're doing correct, they're winning 8 games. If they get 70% of what they're doing, what they're trying to do right, I still believe they can win 8 games. This is not just because this is not a homer pick or something that I'm being biased. I honestly feel that based on what I'm seeing. If I think the team is bad, I'll tell you about it. Because Lord knows I'll tell you how I felt about the team last year. But nevertheless, I feel like this team is on the up and up. I think this team is going to be really, really good, and it's going to surprise some people. So we're going to, continue to watch this. Welcome back, Najee Thompson. I can't wait to see you get out there on the field with the other guys on defense and actually make a difference. Hopefully, everything goes well and there's no issues, no problems, no worries. We're always pulling for not having any crazy injuries. We just want you guys to go out there and ball out. So we'll see how that go. Last but not least, before I get out of here, we're going to talk about Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett for the Falcons, he was not on hand for voluntary workouts. A lot of people are asking, what does this mean? They're trying to say that he does not want to be on the team. I know there are some people already saying that. I don't want to necessarily cast aspersions yet on this, but I do have a take on this, and it's not as far-fetched as most people think it is. I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to give a wait and see approach on this because, first of all, these are voluntary off-season workouts. And I understand if you're a veteran, you want to set an example. You want to be there for the voluntary workouts. But I'm going to wait and see because this could be a situation where he may want another contract. He may want to be traded. And both can be viable options for the Falcons. But I'm going to wait and give you my complete judgment on that because, like I said, this is voluntary. He doesn't have to show up. A lot of people from the old guard is about gone now. Julio, Matt, Deion is still around. Deion Jones is still around a little bit. You got a lot of guys that were skilled players from the old guard that's kind of gone. He's almost like the last one left. You kind of see what I'm getting at, but I'm not going to say it yet. After being with the Falcons for 7 seasons, he's done pretty good for himself. But got a new coach and new GM. I'll just leave it at that. And I guess that's pretty much it for me. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, share this content, subscribe to the channels if you haven't already. I'm on YouTube and Rumble. Also can be found on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify. I can be found on Apple, and I can be also be found on Google Podcasts. If you don't mind, if you want to subscribe to those avenues as well. Sometimes YouTube may act funny and the podcast may not be up. If not, I can assure you that it's going to be up on the audio side of things. So if one goes down, you can listen on the other or vice versa, So hopefully that don't be the case, but it's good to subscribe to more than one. Also, if you like this content on Apple, give me a 5-star rating or give me a high star rating on any other of the platforms that have a rating. And if I'm not doing a good job or whatever case maybe, give me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think about this podcast. Let me know if I can do anything better, anything I need to change. I know one thing I need to change, this background. I'm going to be doing some different things in the background. I am a gamer at heart. I do have a secondary channel where I talk about gaming, so that stuff's not going to change so much, but I am going to have more, Georgia Southern memorabilia around. I'm going to have some more Falcon stuff around because I do want to have a gaming room on one side and possibly have the sports stuff on another side, and I plan on possibly getting the cameras together to show like one side to be gaming, other side to be the sports stuff. So that's basically where that's kind of like the vibe I'm trying to do in this room or the setup I'm trying to do. So if you guys don't mind, let people know what we're doing over here. I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. It's hump day, almost going downhill to the weekend. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Stay safe. Oh, one more thing before I go. Join the Discord. Y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Peace.